You're listening to Almost Beach Glass Interviews. I'm Gil. I'm really interested in the creative process. You were my first guest ever in audio format. Who are you?
My name is Chad Kawashima. I live in Mount Vernon, Washington, and I play guitar in the band Membrane.
What advice do you have for aspiring artists?
I don't know how qualified I am to give advice, but I'd say just go for it. That's the main thing is to find what you like and do it. Especially in the context of punk music, but with any art, you can take it a long way outside of, whatever may be considered quote unquote professional, being a professional artist, right? You can do a lot in the local scene. You can do a lot in community around your home. There are so many avenues in which to be creative. So just find something that you like and go for it.
So first off, I dig that, and I agree that just hitting the pavement wherever you are is like the best way to get started. But one thing that has obstructed me in the past from going towards things that I think might be really fruitful is the idea that what if I get no affirmation? How does the sense of community come into going for it, or does it? Like, is it something more internal for that motivation? I know that you can only speak in regards to yourself and that everybody's different.
Yeah, and it's different coming into it as an adult. When I was very young, I was very fortunate to start playing music at a very young age. And in the beginning, I lived in the suburbs. We would just play at our friends' parents' houses for our friends, and our friends would go nuts. And our bands were awful. Nobody knew how to play, and everyone was supportive, And I find that, especially here in Bellingham, there is kind of a universally supportive community where it's like you don't have to be polished and pro and the best. You will still get that affirmation as long as you are genuine. And then, however much value you're going to put on skill comes with time. So it's one of those things where as long as you have passion and you're going for it, I feel like the affirmation will be there.
Wow. Okay. I like that a lot. So what I heard is that the affirmation is important, but to even be receptive to that in a legitimate way, you have to be authentic and you have to be consistent.
Yeah, and you know what? Not, with any art that you're creating, not everyone's going to like it. And what I always think is I don't like everything.
I don't like everything either.
There are very few things that I like, in the grand scheme. So, I can't expect everyone to like something that I create, and that's completely okay. Like, it's wonderful to have diversity. It's wonderful to be into different things.
So I guess in regards to just having the courage to put yourself out there, and if the energy that's going into it resonates with people, that will kind of lead one in the right direction. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Definitely.
In regards to that, I guess I've seen it, and maybe it's happened to me, but I haven't been perceptive to it. Sometimes people get affirmation because it's contextually expected. how do you navigate like affirmation that's gonna help you develop into the person you want to be versus affirmation that's a handshake but also a pat on the shoulder, you're pushing you along, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're talking about is like the "Hey man, great set."
Yeah.
That kind of thing. That's fine. For me, playing outside of your hometown has always been a big thing for me. If there's someone who doesn't owe you anything, someone who you don't know, saying something positive about your band, that has always been a big thing for me, where you go somewhere different, you play to some kids who don't know you, have never heard your band before, and if they're stoked about it, then you're like, okay, that feels great. They didn't owe us anything. They didn't need to be in here to watch us. Whereas if it's your close friends and they're not watching your band, or they are like, you guys suck tonight, it's like, that's kind of a social faux pas, where, so it's the people who don't owe you anything, or that you don't have any kind of relationship with.
I hear what you're saying. So that whatever word is, the anonymity, maybe that's the word, that you have when you're playing outside of town, that you can take that feedback a lot more legitimately because the interpersonal relationships aren't dependent on that feedback.
Exactly. And it's everything. I think anyone that that is an artist or creating anything, that thing is going to be tainted by your relationship with that person, or your knowledge of their just who they are, their being. But when you see a band and you don't know them, there is this magic there. I've experienced that many times, seeing a band for the first time, being blown away, and then you get to know the people. Sometimes it makes the band way better when you get to know them. Sometimes it makes the band not as good. So it's just this, if they are these anonymous figures that are just creating music, there is some magic there. It's the same thing. It feels the same as, getting into a band when you're a little kid and you don't know anything about them. You just hear the song and you love it, versus, figuring out where they're from and what bands they were in before and what all the influences are. There's magic to not knowing.
I hear what you're saying, in the sense that it's really important as a creator or an audience member that you're getting in front of new eyes and ears consistently to really have an authentic experience, and not one that's an echo chamber in whatever clique you might be a part of, I guess to say.
Exactly. And depending on what you want out of it, some people are completely fine playing open mic at the coffee shop every month.
That's me, asshole.
It's whatever you're trying to get out of it. And I mean, with the internet, it's, you can shoot your music out to the whole world without ever having to leave your room. So it's just, it's whatever you want to get out of it. I find that playing out to different people in a live setting is the best way for me to kind of gauge, like, okay, we're on the right track here. Or, maybe we need to do something different with these songs.
And I've had so much fun at the Ballroom, which is a local venue in town in Bellingham, that is exactly that. Like, it's an awesome place that I've seen, a lot of variety. And, it was really cool there. But I guess so, to get back towards, I guess I have one last question, which would be, you've been creative for so long, so consistently. What part of it, I think that I've been poisoned and I'm slowly swelling up and will no longer be able to speak. What part of it has been most rewarding for you?
The most rewarding part of my journey in music has been the people, just the friends that I've made. I live about 30 minutes south of Bellingham. I didn't know anyone in Bellingham. I didn't know anyone in the area at all until meeting Adam and yourself and Daniel, our drummer, and just the community that instantly formed after starting this band has been the most valuable thing. And that is something that I've seen over and over and over again in my life. It's just the relationships and the people. That is the most important thing that, transcends the music. It's possible that at some point society is going to collapse and we're not going to have amplified music anymore. We're still going to have those people. Like that is the most important thing.
So I think you're saying is so twistedly optimistic in the sense that those new eyes and ears are all around us, and that what we really have to do is just stay consistent and being authentic, and those connections are ever present.
Definitely. It's all out there. There are people out there wanting the same things as you, thinking the same things as you. There is community out there. You just have to go find it.
Dude, hell yeah. Hey, this was so awesome, and I really appreciate talking to you. This was dope.
Yeah, this was great. Thank you so much, Gil.